hello. It's been a while. I sort of disappeared for June, 1 month, so then now.
Hello.
Hey, pizza. Yeah, I got a bit sick, and then I got sicker, then I got way sicker, and then I got better, and then life elsewhere exploded, and then it got too hot, and then I got a bit sick again. But here we are. I mean, June, usually a useless month anyway, so it's fine if we just skipped it. But I hope everybody else had a good June. Man, I'm sure I'm doing something wrong right now. It's been so long. Yay, Walrus. Hello, thank you so much, man. 46 months. And probably like 3 of those months, I was completely away. And all your money's been wasted. Doing for a nice tan this season. It's too hot. I'm probably going to complain a lot about the weather. But it wouldn't be a Uncle stream if it's hot outside and I'm not complaining about the weather. And I wish this chat overlay that I use showed the subscriber message as well. Sounds like a June was better than mine. Yeah. I think everybody's... No, I can't say everybody's June. Most people's June. It's probably better than mine. It's okay. I'm not going to be too sulky today. How's everybody's life going? Anybody else have 47 web pages open that they refresh every 5 minutes just to maybe possibly find an air conditioner that's in stock? That's what I've been doing for the last few days. But I think I've given up. I think I've decided just fucking dealing with it is going to be better for my mind than constantly refreshing. And then you finally find a website that has something not out of stock, and then you click add and you go to your basket and you go to checkout and you're almost done, and you look at it and it says, shipping earliest 20th of December. Like, nah. Worst you've had is 41. Damn, we haven't even had a 40 yet. Our worst was like, what, 38? Hey, Shrek, how's it going? How's everybody doing? If last year was hot, I would have ended up buying that air conditioner, but the fact that last year in the UK was fairly chill, it sort of fooled me into, maybe the worst is over, right? Maybe it's skipping us. But the fact that we've had the very hot spring and then already a hot week in summer, and then next week, but it's not that insane hot. The fact that I've adapted and I'm saying 32 is not that insane hot. Right, next week, we barely touched the 30s. Maybe I should... Because I'm going to rush, I'm going to buy some shit air conditioner that's just crap. Maybe I should just wait until the winter. Think you've evolved too, huh? I don't know what I'm evolving into. Oh, I have evolved. You've had one crazy hot week every summer worth having AC just for that? Yeah. If I had a house, right, if I owned a house, I would have just bought it ages ago when... Well, that's louder. When I just could, but now... buying something for possibly just a week that takes up a lot of space in my tiny little flat and is inconvenient in the window Why couldn't we just have those shut sliding windows? No. It just feels like maybe I should just do it, right? I should just do it for the rest of society, because as soon as I buy an air conditioner, right? As soon as I spend that money, it's never going to be hot again where I live. We're going to have the coldest summers the UK's ever seen. The more money I spend on this air conditioner, the colder it's going to be. So maybe I should just do my part for society, right? Do my part for my fellow man and open up that wallet and just buy a monster coldness machine. Or my other option, buy a big chest freezer and climb in. And I'll just play Steam Deck. And every now and then I just open the top to let some oxygen in. Or I could probably get a little oxygen tube. But then I'm breathing in hot air. Or maybe I should just get a big chest freezer, climb in and lock it. And never climb out again. I was actually curious if you're still alive. Yeah, barely. Yeah, it was a rough month. I wasn't expecting to be away. I had intriguing things planned. But, yeah. Season AC shopping sounds sensible. Yeah, but it was sensible last year. It's funny reading threads on Reddit of people like 2 months ago, 3 months ago going, I decided I'm going to buy one, and people are going to laugh and say it's useless, but I know in a few months I'm going to laugh at everyone. And then there's a new post from them going, ha ha ha. We'll see. It's just that these portal ones are just such a waste. Oh, my chat broke. What if you turn the entire room into the butcher's freezer? I mean, I am just a piece of meat lying around. So, basically is that. Finished Lords of the Fallen, got 2 other platinum trophies since your last stream. Shit. I didn't play as much since last time. I think last time we spoke, I just started playing Outer Worlds. I always use the wrong one, Outer Worlds 2. I gave up on that pretty quickly. I'm not having fun. And then I just played some shitty incremental games, which I feel is it's the shorts equivalent to probably rotting my brain, just getting that dopamine from the numbers getting bigger, but I enjoy it. You only got explosive diarrhea followed by constipation since last time. Hey, that's progress, sort of. Equilibrium, right? Hopefully it went like that, and then it went like that, and then hopefully over time you'll stabilize into a normal movement. You watch incremental games on YouTube to fall asleep? And I love incremental games. I saw people complaining about them the other day. Like, man, I love them. My only problem is there's one dude on YouTube, or 2 guys, that play all these incremental games, and I always see their videos pop up because I've clicked on a lot of incremental games. But neither of them uses the game's name in the title of the video or in the thumbnail, and one of the guys always has these AI thumbnails. So all I see is there's a incremental game about something. But I refuse to click on the video, because I don't click on a video that says, is this the best new incremental game? Without brackets saying what the game is. So I refuse. But then I figure it out. And I think Steam has figured out that, hey, this dude has bought like 20 incremental games in the last year. He probably likes incremental games. So I'm getting more incremental game suggestions instead of horny hentai games, which I've never bought before. But I still enjoy laughing at it when it comes up in my queue. Man, I wish I had a beer. A beer would be good right now. What I am drinking is bought some apple juice concentrate thing, like the squash stuff you can buy in the UK, and I put a little bit of that in water, and then it tastes like I'm drinking really watered down apple juice. And it's really nice. Nintendo eShop finally has sensible layout. I've luckily never seen the Nintendo eShop before. But I've never heard any good things. The worst thing for me about it being hot is I get sweaty, and when I get really sweaty, I get monstrously itchy. I think I'm allergic to sweating a lot. And I get very, very itchy, and my legs get very, very itchy especially. And then I can't sleep because I'm too itchy. And then I scratch. And then I scratch until it doesn't itch anymore. And then it just hurts. But I can sleep with a little bit of pain better than I can sleep with a little bit of itchiness. So I'm just covered in scratches. I look like I fought a wild animal. But that wild animal is just me. I've got two wolves inside of me. One's very itchy and the other one likes to scratch a lot. Man, I'm so nervous. I was so nervous starting stream. It's been so long. I could have streamed like 2-3 days ago. But it's been so long, and the longer it takes, the more stressed I am. Oh yeah, so something that I did do over the last few months is I paid someone to draw me a new uncle, which is a little bit different than what we're used to. I decided I wanted to go in a different direction, so if this is not what you like, then that's sad for you. Literally itchy and scratchy from Simpsons, yeah. I was just scratching my arm and then I stopped because it's gross. But yeah, so I did. Not sure we can ever be Unk 1. Maybe this is Unk 4. So Unk 1 was just me wanting a picture that moves, right? I drew it and it looked like ass. The second one, it looked really nice, but I went a bit too much younger anime man when I should have went older guy. And then we went, oh, and it had deep voice. Back in the day when people popped up my stream and saying, oh, I like your voice. It's like, thanks, I'm using a voice changer. And third one, I went older, but I should have gone even older. So this time I went extra old. We might have bypassed uncle and went straight to grandpa. But I sort of like that. Not I sort of like that. That was the idea that I had. That was the plan. Usually when people do their VTuber reveals, right? They come down from the top. First the toes, and then the ankles, and then the knees, and everybody knows which other body parts there are when you go higher up. And then finally you get to the head, but we're going to do it a little bit different. We're going to start from the top. We will never have a 10,000-year-old uncle trapped in the body of 11-year-old Cole, no. No, no children. No children. Especially not, no, let's just say no children. And if I do show up with like a weird, creepy, hey, I'm actually a 900-year-old dragon, but I look like a toddler, then that's time to shut off the channel. But okay. As we can see, we still have some air, but not a lot. Can see some of that uncle forehead. Should I get bigger? Oh,
Drum roll, please.
I should have had a drum roll. What have we got? We've got some nice wiggly bushy eyebrows and some forehead wrinkles. Oh, I looked up and then we saw more uncle. I went too high up. So what I decided is, when you get old enough, ankle hurts, knee hurts, pain in my back, shoulder, neck, my one hand sucks. So I just decided, you know what? Let's just get rid of it. Let's just get rid of it. And what more do we need than just the head? So we can go bald. We can go partway bald as well, but I haven't set that up yet. And I can take my glasses off. Then I don't see very well. Actually, I can put that back on. There's a lot more that I can still set up, but I haven't set it up yet. So actually, like last time, forehead looks kind of somehow Palpatine returned again. I should get some lightning. But yeah, now that I'm just ahead, I can put myself anywhere on the screen and I don't have to worry about my body covering anything. I need to recalibrate. Hang on. I'm looking up too much. Ah, okay, that's better. No glasses, no eye, it's kind of scary. It's not supposed to be scary. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, when I was looking through and commissioning and things, it's like, do I do full body again? Because I realized the only time my legs ever show is when I showed the body off the first time, and then other times when I go like that. Or, yeah, okay, that's the only time. And I thought, okay, I don't need a full body. I can just need half body. And then I thought, when do I even show anything more than just slightly below chest? So maybe I just need the bust. And then I thought, you know what? Do I really need that? Do I need shoulders and arms? Always place your body behind. Yes. I could also get a different body. I saw this cute headless bikini body a while ago, and I thought, you know what? I could stick my head on that body. There's one someone made that it's like body lying down like that. Arms. Sort of like that. And I thought, yeah, I can do that. Or we can just, that's good enough. But yeah, I was actually thinking of having as a toggle for my model being able to turn off the body So that if you're playing a game and you can't cover this bit of the screen, you can't cover that bit, you can't cover that bit. So wait, what if I can turn off the body and then I can just put my head where I want? Then I decide, you know what, why not just head? Right, who needs a body? Right, if you want to get ahead in life, you shouldn't need anybody. Now it's just going to be weird when I crack my neck and there is no neck. You can probably hear my mouse wheel spinning. We don't even need an animation. I'm just not very centered, so I'm not spinning around the main axis. So yeah, I've considered not completely switching over, doing this and then switching to a different model and then switching this one again. But for now, we're just going to be Uncle Head. And I can do this, which I couldn't do previously. Couldn't look very shocked and scared. Look a little bit angry. But yeah, I'll probably make ball the toggle. Did I not? Hang on. Did I set that up already? Oh no, I played around with it, but I never... Oh no, that was before it was final. Okay, I haven't set it up yet. But I can turn off the middle hair. Like just this. And then we've just got cool hair on the sides. Oh no, I mean I can turn off like this entire bit of hair. So yeah. Should probably had more hype moments set up, but I couldn't. I wanted to, quite a few things that I wanted to do to have like a proper, like a little video and things, but I just couldn't. Too many other things going on. So me just babbling while the head appears is what we've got. I do have a much thicker outline that I turned on. Right. But I like it with the thick outline. I don't know if I want to do glasses all the time or not glasses. But yeah, it's a bit of a different art style than I had previously. But I like being old man. For all man, you're missing those nasty ear and nose hair. We can draw some on if you want. No, but we want to be... we want to be idealized old man. We don't want to be a realistic old man. I don't want my model to have to every few days look in the mirror and see, oh, there's a hair on my ear that wasn't there before. Oh, ow, ow, ow. Like a Japanese grandpa, nice and clean. Hey, we got our first bot since I got back. Civilized despair, something. Oh, an expanded mystery. I like it that the bots appear in pairs now. It's so sweet. I think Nasty Ear is censored. Is it censored on my captions, or is it censored for you? Because they think it's it's like an insult or something. Oh, it's your baby filter. It's calling someone Nasty Ear. Is that is that like some weird slur somewhere? I don't know. Why do you have the baby filter? Have you not been able to turn that off, or did you decide you actually like it? The entire sentence was censored. Maybe they thought the entire sentence was an insult. Because we know they're running some kind of chatbot on it, probably in the back end, right? Wasn't able to know long ago and gonna grow on me. Yeah. It probably is sort of funny, right? Because you can see what the actual sentence is on screen. I mean, if you squint, I've got that chat so tiny. It's probably funny to see what Twitch decides is an insult. I still probably need to make a few changes on having the mouth open a bit larger. And I haven't set it up completely good yet. But these things take time. You can click and reveal it anyway and rate the appropriateness. That's very funny, actually. Oh, man. I am sleepy. I actually slept okay this week. It's nice not being toasty all the time. But I'm tired. It's been a long couple of weeks. Oh, and I missed so much. There were so many game announcements and things. We had, what do we have? We had the Jeff one. What's that one called? Games Fest? Was it Games Fest? I'm not so sure. Right, we had that. There was the PlayStation one. There was the Xbox one. And I feel there was more. So many announcements and so many games that I am waiting for. That's going to release in the next few months, trying to squeeze it in before GTA. So many early access games. Can't remember them now. Oh yeah, I think Fields of Mistria comes out in the next month or two. I think expansion for Grim Dawn's coming out in the next couple months. There was more. Isn't Pal World finally getting a release? I still haven't played Pal World yet. Oh, I should make a list. I've completely forgotten. Also, electronic price increases. Yeah. Xbox Studio closures. I'm confused about Xbox at the moment. I thought when they originally made the announcement, right, with we're getting a new head of Xbox, blah, blah, blah. Here's this lady from the AI team. I thought, okay. This is the kind of stuff that a company does when it's planning on completely cancelling a division. Right? They just bring someone unexpected in. And then, wow, surprise, 2 years from now, this thing doesn't exist anymore, or even a year. I completely thought it was going to be like, definitely in less than a year, they're going to announce they're never making hardware again. And then before another year, they're going to say, okay, Xbox is done. But then they started making all these other announcements and things. And I thought, oh, okay, maybe not. Maybe they have decided to, roll things back a little bit and try to be less purposefully shit. Which I feel expecting that from a company is sort of a mistake. And now recently there's like, you know what? We're just going to be extra shit. We're just going to fire everyone. All those studios we bought making the games they were making. We've decided we don't like them anymore. We're just going to close them all down. That should be illegal. Or if you buy a company and you shut it down within, I don't know what the amount of years should be, all those employees should be able to get mega money. So now I don't know what's up. But I feel that's normal for Xbox, right? Nobody has any idea what's going on there. They had 2 good ideas years ago, right? Actually making Xbox and then making the Xbox 360. And as soon as they called that fucking thing the Xbox 360, we should have known. And since then, who can imagine what Xbox is doing? More sort of expected they bought too much to put anything on Game Pass, and now they need to trim everything that doesn't make huge returns on investment. I sort of get it, but why would you buy? What pisses me off from these companies is it's not like they bought a company that did really, really well, and then right after they bought them, the company stopped doing well. Like what are you... Companies that buy a different company and then suddenly expecting them to do 10 times better, and then they're surprised they don't. Does confuse me. I mean, there are some of those companies that you look at what they've done in the last 10 years and you think, how's this company still alive? But then they shouldn't have bought them in the first place. I don't know, it's just such a fuck up. It's the finance bro mistake of thinking, how do you grow? You just buy more companies. And then whoops. Hoping for huge influx of Game Pass users when they had stuff like Call of Duty. Yeah, but they had loads of Game Pass users, right? It's just, once again, just unrealistic expectations. I don't really know what they think was their goal, to have every single person that games on PC to have signed up for Game Pass, and then what? When they didn't hit that crazy mega goal, they decided, nah. Unrealistic expectation of bread and butter. I feel that's every large corporation, right? Any large corporation that has mega investors that they need to make happy. Because the expectation is we're going to grow forever. And that is just mega unrealistic. And you always get these companies like buying an IP or something. And then that IP has an existing audience. And the company thinks, you know what, we need to grow our audience for this to be better. We already have the existing audience. Other people don't like it, so what should we do to get more people? We should change it. We should make it different. And then we get more people in, and that's growth. And then they change it and everybody's pissed off when the thing fails. And they not only didn't bring new people in, they lost the previous people. And then everybody's surprised, oh, How could we have expected this thing to happen? Oh, these fans are just whiny and unrealistic. I feel that's happening with every single big IP lately. But I was actually fairly optimistic for a little bit about Xbox. But I lost all that optimism. The only thing I can remember from their showcase thing is new Gears of War, which I like Gears of War. I like the big muscly dudes with their big guns and chainsaw guns running around shooting things and chainsawing things. And this time they're like, oh, you wanted to know who decided to put a chainsaw on a gun? Here, we're going to show you. Which I feel is a little bit meh. But yeah, I'm looking forward to a new Gears of War. I know the big tech corporation ruins everything it touches, ruined everything again. Who would have thought, yeah. Man, people used to hate Microsoft because of how evil it was, right? People didn't used to hate Microsoft because of how incompetent they were. It must be crazy if you're sort of at a higher position in Microsoft and you've seen all these changes, because they must have culturally, right? I mean like the company culture, I don't mean like people culture, I mean company culture, must have significantly changed over like the last 15 years, 20 years. Because man, the amount of, I wouldn't say goodwill and Microsoft in the same sentence, right? Microsoft always had its haters and they were usually hating them because how unethical they were. But then most people was like, yeah, I like Windows. Windows is fine. Windows is easy to use. All my things run on it. It's great. And then somewhere along the way, probably when they decided they want to be a data selling company and not a software company. But man, fucking Windows. If I had the budget right now to just build an entire other PC, I would love to do that and just put SteamOS on it and just see how it runs. And I could just dual boot, but at the moment I don't really have. I could just buy more storage. But that seemed like a bigger hassle than I want to do at the moment. But man, I'm so tired of all these dumb decisions these companies make. Especially Microsoft. I don't understand. I don't understand how they haven't made a single change to anything in like 20 years where they made something better. Right, every single thing they've done. The last time in the console world they made something where the thing was better was Xbox 360 was better than the first Xbox. And I don't just mean like tech-wise. I mean, it was a cooler product. The fact that it did so well, even though almost every single one of them exploded after a while, is incredible. Man, I loved my 360. And then everything after that was just shit, because I'm guessing someone high up in there went, you know what? We have the gamers, right? How are we going to grow? It's like, we need to get people who don't game to buy Xboxes as well. And then they did that whole big TV thing. And they sort of forgot what it was about. No Temple OS, no. Kind of stopped selling software and hardware now. They just maintain the number of subscribers. But I feel that's every big software company, right? Switching to shitty subscription. Imagine how good the software world would have been if Adobe failed. Maybe they weren't the first, but they were the first big company I can think of. that went with the, oh no, the software you used to buy, it's just a service now, you have to keep on paying. Because previously, if the new version comes out and it fucking sucks, you just kept using the old version you're happy with. But as soon as it's subscription, you don't really have a choice, right? You're forced to upgrade. Now you're running the new shit software. That's shitter than the previous software, that's shitter than the previous software, because they need to keep making changes to justify it, and sometimes you should just leave things alone. Sometimes you shouldn't just change the entire user interface just because you feel like it. The rage that I feel these days when I open up a piece of software and they completely change the user interface for no reason other than they just wanted to do a rework. Oh, I get so angry. But one of these days, I think a good thing with all these companies is people get tired, people get annoyed, people get angry. And then people do tend to now, I feel, switch over to things that are, I wouldn't say just open source, but right, people did it with getting tired of 3D Studios and Maya and everything and start using Blender a lot more. Right. A lot of people are getting tired of Windows and they're switching to some sort of Linux thing. Not a lot, but some. Right, people got annoyed at what is the proper, I don't think there's a proper replacement for Photoshop probably just yet, right? I mean, there's loads of other software, but they're just not as good. People that use the editing software are using DaVinci Resolve now, which, not open source, but at the moment, the free version, pretty good. Photopia luckily didn't say GIMP. I think GIMP's biggest problem is calling it GIMP. Because you can't be the one in a company when they want to suggest software saying, hey, we should install GIMP. Have you tried GIMP? It's just not appropriate for a professional environment. There are some pretty good Photoshop alternatives. There's actually one that's an online one that I don't remember. Bunch of years ago, I bought, when I wanted to do a bit more drawing, I bought Clip Studio Paint. But I never really got to use it as well as I should because, like most things in life, I tried a new hobby for a while and then switched over. Was the online one just Photopia? I don't know. But I think all these companies, they, at some point, right, people are going to get tired. And I think where you fuck up is if you screw up so much that, let's say, at universities and things, they start using something else, which is not a big income thing for the company. But then, right, those guys who've only used this one piece of software get into a company and then sometimes they suggest you just keep using it. And they lose a lot. Inkscape decades ago, but it's nothing like Photoshop. I think Inkscape is a vector drawing program only, right? Or am I misremembering it? But yeah, Inkscape's been along for decades, I think. I think I've used it. Maybe, or am I confusing it with something else? But yeah, but I'm at the point now where I've used paint so much over the years, but they've made paint so shit now that I probably need to go install what's sort of the free version, the non-Windows, non-Microsoft version. Is it Paint 2D? I don't actually remember. But yeah, I need to switch over. Whoa, I accidentally lost my hair. Why did I lose my hair? Did I press this button? Do I still have a short... Oh, I probably still have a shortcut set up. Oh. Let me just quickly clear these shortcut keys so I don't accidentally lose my hair while typing. That does happen during the day normally with my actual hair, but not as much of it. Imagine you pressed the wrong keyboard combination and your actual hair just all fell out. Paint 3D with Copilot. Ow. Ah, my neck is screwed. I haven't been able to use my heat pad for my neck and shoulders in a while because it's too fucking hot. And I can feel it. It makes way more crackly sounds when I move it. Sorry for the immersion where I don't have a neck and shoulders, but I keep talking about my neck and shoulders. Man, now I'm tired. It's probably the adrenaline from being so stressed for stream. And then finally, just streaming for an hour. What were I talking about earlier? Oh yeah, how ass Microsoft is. Oh, but the biggest disappointment of the last month is electronic costs, right? And then Steam Machine comes out and it's crazy expensive, which is such a pity. I don't usually emotionally feel for companies. I don't really want to invest any emotion in a corporation, but I do feel sorry for Valve because they sort of had, they've got 3 options. Is they cancel the whole thing and don't release it. Option 2, they try and subsidize it. And then people go, oh, cheap PC, let's buy it for our office, and then buy 50. And they never buy any games. I mean, they could temporarily subsidize with the hope that the price are going to go down, but what if it doesn't? Or the third one is they just say fuck it and then just release it as much as it costs now, and such a pity. Because it was always going to be an expensive mid-low end machine, right? The problem is now it's just a very expensive low mid-end machine. I think the only thing they did wrong was their marketing, where they said 4K gaming. The person who decided that should get a little slap on the back of the head. Not too hard, just like bad. Don't do it again kind of thing. Because that's stupid. That's stupid. If you sell a PC, you can't say things like that. Because it so very much depends on what you're playing. Luckily, they sort of changed that, but they still say 4K. Like the Lost the Fallen, online trophies were horrible. Oh yeah, we did say that I was going to try and join see if I could help with one of those, but I didn't actually know if I would have been able to. You had to win one PvP invasion, but kept matchmaking me with this single dude that had the best counter build for my character. Oh man. I just didn't want to change my build, so I kept invading him for hours. Oh, that sucks. You would think he would have realized that maybe you're doing it for a trophy and just sort of just let you have one. But it sounds like you managed to kill him at some point. I hope. I mean, I don't think you would have stopped without getting the trophy. I've sort of forgotten about Lost the Fallen, right? We were halfway through. But I got a bit bored. It was too early for me to play Lost the Fallen again. I don't think I should have waited. What I actually want to do is I want to play Convergence mod for Elden Ring. They just had another big patch. So I want to play around with that for a bit. But I wouldn't mind just dropping Lost the Fallen. And then we'll see when the second one comes out, which I have no idea when that is. I hope that's cool. Someone just started doing emotes and jumping around, and I attacked him with no warning and managed to stun lock him with heavy attacks. Hopefully that didn't make him rage too much. He was probably then, okay, you got that one, I'll get you the next one, and you just never invaded again. That's funny. And what other game did I think of similar? Oh yeah, the demo for that Mortal Shell 2 was out, and everybody that I saw said they think it's really good. But man, I look at that and the camera looks worse than the camera in the first one. There's way too much wobbling and swinging around, and apparently no way to turn it off, so that's one game that I'm definitely not playing on stream and probably not playing ever. You immediately closed the game and uninstalled. So you left that trophy for last. I do want to just finish my current playthrough because I want to finish the veteran difficulty so I get that armor set, and also they added an actual boss, I think, for the normal ending, which I've never seen. I will get back to it at some point. Just not in the mood at the moment. I have installed Tomb Raider 4, 5, and 6, so we'll get on with that. And what else? Something else that I wanted to play. Boss is meh. So is the Umbrella ending boss. Umbrella ending. Umbral, oh. Man, I'm stupid. I thought, are you talking about the Umbral ending? I don't remember anything looking like an umbrella. But I wasn't thinking, are you thinking of the Umbral ending because of the word umbrella? I was just thinking, okay, I know what the boss is like for the Inferno ending. So you must be talking about the Umbral one, but I don't remember that final boss looking like an umbrella at all. Not playing Hello Kitty. Maybe if it's on like mega sale one day. Secret umbrella ending. Be funny. There was something that I installed that I wanted to play. I installed a little game where you clean a room. Installed a little game where you like power washing things. I can't remember. What else did I leave halfway through before I left? Was it just Lords of the Fallen? I think it was just Lords of the Fallen, right? Oh, one thing I did do last month while I was watching YouTube is I finished the No Magic run of that librarian game. Which took me many mega hours, but it's not really me playing the game, it's me watching YouTube and then just doing something while I'm busy with that. Hollow Knight Celeste and getting over it. No, getting over it's for when I achieve success as a streamer, so that's not now. I did actually... I don't want to use the word enjoy, but I don't remember absolutely hating Celeste. It was a struggle. It was frustrating, but I don't remember hating it. I just hated the idea of redoing all those levels. But I feel like if I do it in the future, I should just start over, right? I feel like continuing where I left off when I don't remember anything is going to be a mistake. Finished Thousand Nights Resist, recommended if you're in a mood for a glorified visual novel. I've never been a visual novel enjoyer. More of a normal novel. Oh, I have been reading a lot the last month. I did just sign up for Kindle Unlimited again. It's a special for £0 for 3 months. I'm like, okay, I know what I'm doing for the next 3 months. I'm going to read. Could do Celeste with a guide next time. I probably should. But yeah, I'm just very annoyed because I looked up for a list of fantasy series on Kindle Unlimited that is done. Because I hate reading through this long series of books, coming to the last book, and then it's not fucking done yet. And I got a whole list. And it's this one looked really cool. And it's 8 books. I thought, okay, cool. And I got to end of book 7. I thought, this was just a big change. How are they going to wrap up the story in one book? And then halfway through the 8th book, I'm like, this is getting further away from wrapping up the story. This is setting up the next arc of the story. And then bam, book 8 done. I'm like, oh, well, fuck. We are screwed. I don't think they have Witcher. They don't have any big name. I mean, they might be, and that's probably insulting of me to say to people, but to the other writers, but I don't think they have any of like the big popular, big famous fantasy writers. The Robin Hood books mostly trilogies. Man, I haven't read a Robin Hood book in decades. So he writes the books about the dragons, right? But yeah, but now I'm probably reading through another series that I think goes up to book 11. I don't think that's the final book. I mean, he wasn't a big well-known writer ages ago, but with the success of the Witcher game, The Witcher as media got pushed a lot more, right? And people are more aware. But let's see. Oh, wait. Oh, these aren't the books, these are comics. Or... there are Witcher books, but they're not by... they're by other people, so I don't really know. Okay, this is a guide to Witcher 3. This is not... yeah, I'm confused. There's quite a lot of Witcher books, and I'm scrolling down and I haven't seen one from the actual author. But yeah, so I'm just reading a low-budget fantasy at the moment. And I'm sort of okay with it. It's fun and entertaining, and when it's this hot, the coolest place for me is the furthest away from my PC and the window, with the sun baking on my blackout curtains. And that is just lying on my bed with the fan at half speed, half max, which is fairly intense, just blowing straight at me while I'm reading. Wonder how many people actually read the books. Before the games came out, probably almost no one. Maybe that's not true. Because I never heard of it. First time I heard of The Witcher was when I played The Witcher 1. Complete Witcher series, Witcher box set. Is it 8 books? Oh, this is so sad. I hate how they advertise. The Last Witch, the best-selling book which inspired season 1 of Netflix's The Witcher. That's the title. That's the thing you click on Amazon. And the next one, Sword of Destiny, Tales of the Witcher. Dash, now a major Netflix show. Crosset of Ravens, a brand new Witcher novel starring Geralt of Rivia. Now a major Netflix show. Disgusting. I'm fine with shows and movies being based on books, but putting the respect on the show or the movie instead of on the book is so annoying. And then you get these box sets of the books being sold, and even the image of the book cover has a big red sticker on it that says, "Now on Netflix." Ew. Gross. Disgusting. Imagine you buy a box set of the Witcher books for the first time, and it comes with a big red sticker on it that says, "Now on Netflix." Hang on. That's so gross. Does this show? Oh no, it's too dangerous to have. Amazon open, showing delivery addresses and regions and things. Hang on. Okay, this is taking way too long just to show what I wanted to show. Just look at that. Look how gross that is. I'd be so pissed off if I bought this box set and it's got this on it. Just look on the outside of the case. That's disgusting. Who? Is the Witcher books young adult? Really? That's so disgusting. That's even worse than, like, ooh, the hit movie. Do they sell Lord of the Rings books with like a big sticker on saying, ooh, now in cinemas? That's so disgusting. I'd be so upset. But they probably gave him a big bag of money, and the publisher's probably got a big bag of money, so they're like, yeah, okay, that's chill. But man, I'd be very annoyed. Because that looks even worse than just slapping on a sticker. That's like added to the art. Do I like reading sci-fi? I used to. I must say I haven't read anything sci-fi in a while. I've been sort of stuck on just fantasy or vampire, zombies, and things like that. Man, vampire, it's so difficult. It's so difficult to get a good vampire book that's not romance, right? Because vampire book popularity kicked off a lot after Twilight. So I can't even be upset about that, but it's hard. Just how it's also difficult finding good new fantasy books that isn't romantasy. Something from Neddy. I don't know if that's a real name or a D's Nuts joke. Oh, this is a book written by George R. R. Martin about this person, or the other way around. Fantasy novel of magic and genocide in post-apocalyptic Africa. That sounds way too heavy for me. I'm going to take a quick break. I will return. Uncle will return in a bit. How does this work again? Okay. I was actually planning on playing a bit of a game today, but I've already talked more in this last hour and 20 minutes than I have in the previous month combined. So I can feel my voice is starting to struggle a teensy bit. So I'm probably just gonna chat a bit more. And then today will be a short stream. But then hopefully, when I say I'll be back soon, I will actually be back soon and not like last time. Think I would love Polish fantasy? I mean, I might. Only problem is just not understanding Polish. But I'm guessing they all do get translated. Wonder if they do a good job. Man, Poland's actually doing good, I think, on like cultural exports. With how many games get made in Poland. And I actually think something like The Witcher actually did very well for that. So I wouldn't be surprised if Polish fantasy becomes like a thing elsewhere as well. Even Larian opened the studio in Warsaw, which is nice. Yeah, I think so many. Like, there's a lot of big game developers in Poland, isn't there? I mean, UK has a bunch as well, but I don't know how well they're doing these days. Like small little companies like Rockstar, you know, who just can't make any profit, so they have to take loads of government money. So sad. So sad when the little guy has to struggle like that. Just coincidentally, there's another company called Rockstar elsewhere in the world, and they make all the money. It's so weird. So strange. But is Poland a big game development hub these days? Just because there's a lot of interested people, or is labor costs fairly low when it comes to developers? Cursed Bee Simulator game was also Polish. Bee Simulator? Was there a bee simulator? Okay, there's a game called Bee Simulator, another game called Bee Simulator The Hive. What's so cursed about it? Okay, I'm watching a video of a bee flying through like rings in the air super speedily. All the bees had really strong Polish accent. That's pretty funny. But what accent do we want the bee to have? If you were going to stereotypically pick an accent for a bee, I wonder which one works. I'm probably just thinking some American accent, but I think that's just because of Bee Movie. Try to think of what other media I've ever watched about bees. And I feel like it's probably just Bee Movie. Cheaper because we never adopted Euro, but most we'd have a lot of good coders and engineers. Haha. Yeah, I think Poland did really well in the last 10 years or so, right? Compared to the UK. Just going down the drain. Coincidentally, at the exact moment I arrived, things started going really badly. I'm starting to think when I win the Mega Millions or whatever, which country do I move to? Starting to have to start planning just in case. Which country now is a cool country, temperature-wise as well? Where can I move to where it doesn't get hot in the summer? But also the entire country doesn't shut down in the winter. It's probably better to just not worry too much about that and just buy an air conditioner. Man. My throat actually hurts from all this talking, and I haven't even been talking that much. I'm not even a loud person. I feel like if I yelled right now, my voice would just break, and I would lose it for at least a month. If I was born 5 years later, I would probably study game dev because these specialized universities started appearing some in my first years at uni. If I knew that I was definitely coming to the UK, I think I would have tried at least to sort of steer my career in that direction because, yeah, there are some people doing game development in South Africa, but there's not a big industry. So it was never even a consideration when I was studying. I think if I knew, maybe I would have tried. But I don't think I would survive the unstableness of it. Right, working on a project and knowing you're probably going to get fired, even if it goes well. Yeah, but maybe that's just at the bigger companies. I need to tweak the mouth shape a little bit because my neutral expression on my face is not a smile. And this seems to think it is. Oh man, I'm tired. But yeah, it's good to stream again, man. I did miss streaming a little bit. Every time I see something happening, I think, oh shit, I could have talked about this on stream. Drinking my watered down apple juice still. It's so good. But I still would have liked a beer. I haven't had a beer in... I don't even know. Can't remember when last I had a beer. I feel like last time I drank a beer, but it was a really shit one. I think I was halfway through the can and I already had a headache. Like, what the hell? But I don't know if I should blame that on me or on the shitness of a beer. You bought Diet Coke, follow my example. My example does not point you in a direction of Diet Coke. Ew, gross. Coke Zero, right? Coke Zero is the peak Coca-Cola existence. You put lemon in it. I mean, you can put lemon in your Coke. I'm a big fan of add what you think is tasty, as long as it's just yours. Man, people that add lemon on shared things. And like you get fish and chips with someone and they just squeeze lemon over your fish as well. And it's like, ooh, this is so good. Or even worse, like vinegar over all the chips. Like, you fucker. How dare you? You meant Coke Zero? Good. Good. I don't understand enjoying Diet Coke. I saw someone the other day going on about how much better they think Pepsi is than Coke, and I just don't understand that either. Lemon and fish are a common combination. Yeah. Sure, right? That's why it comes with lemon, but you don't squeeze lemon on someone else's fish. Not everybody wants sour fish. Teensy tiny bit of lemon actually does make it better, I do agree. Sounds like a proverb, it's because it's the truth. It's truthful wisdom. Put an entire ice tray in your cup and then maybe 150 milliliters of Coke fits. So little Coke lasts real long. Speaking of 150 milliliter of Coke, I bought these tiny little 150 milliliter Cokes the other day. Because they were on a big sale and I thought, you know what, I'll buy the tiny cans. But when I bought them, I thought they were the 250 ml cans, which is already, right, the tiny cans. The narrow cans. And when they arrived, I'm like, oh, this is smaller than I expected. Whoops. But then I realized, even though it is more expensive per milliliter or per 100 milliliters, however you want to measure it, when I drink like a normal 330 ml can of Coke, I feel I do actually just really enjoy the first half. And the rest I just drink because it's there. There's one thing I've learned over the last few years is how I used to be a big bulk buyer. I'll buy the big can instead of the small can. But then I realized, do I really want a big can? Would I have been more happy with a smaller one? You drink my coffee these days? I'm still not drinking coffee first thing in the morning, but I do drink coffee slightly later in the day. And it has fixed my weird, or fixed that thing where I felt like I can feel the acid burning in the back of my throat in the mornings, which I suspect that is probably not good. But I do still do the caffeine, a small chunk of a caffeine pill in the morning, so I still get my caffeine. But now that it's so hot, I don't really crave the coffee anymore. When it's cold, I do miss it. But I don't go, I can't wait until I can have my coffee. Now I just drink one coffee later in the day, and throughout the day, just water and my watered down apple juice. I have mentioned how much I would really like a beer right now, right? I sound like an alcoholic, but I don't drink for drunkenness. There's just nothing as refreshing as a cold beer when you're hot and sweaty. It's a pity most zero alcohol beers don't taste that good, and they're more expensive. Because I'd be fine with just drinking them. Do you like light or dark beer better? I think in the winter, I much more prefer drinking like a Guinness than a lager or whatever. But in the summer, as I said, when it's hot and you're sweaty and you just want to feel refreshed, then a good old lager or a Pilsner or whatever, good. I feel winter's more for a nice ale, or I would say a stout, but I don't like any other stouts. I just like Guinness. I feel the other ones are a bit too, I don't know, too chocolatey or too whatever other flavor profiles people say they have. 5 beers last week and surprising no hangover, just slept a bit longer than usual. Maybe I should have 5 beers. The last beer that I had that I said gave me a headache was, I don't even want to say it. It was a Budweiser. Not the Bud Light, but still the American one, not the good one. Right, I ordered beers with groceries and they substituted from cheap shit beer to mega cheap shit beer. And like I said, I was like halfway through that can and I felt my head starting to hurt. But yeah, I haven't had like a good beer then in so long. But if we're out at the pub, I don't really mind what lager someone gets me, as long as it's not, I don't think there's anybody in this chat who will get upset at this, as long as it's not an Italian beer. I've never had an Italian beer that I like. There probably is some, but like Peroni and I don't know which other ones, I can't remember. Moretti, is that one? I don't know. Usually the beer that gets exported, I feel, is the shit ones, right? It's not the good ones. I feel like countries keep their good beer. But every Italian beer I've ever had, I didn't like. Every Belgian beer I've ever had, I loved. Every German beer I've had, I liked. Big fan of the cheap Polish beer at the off licenses. I used to just go and buy, let's say we're going to a friend's house for a few hours, we're going to play board games or whatever. I go and I buy 3 or 4 Polish beers. Can't pronounce any of them. I just don't buy the black one with a lightning bolt on it because I realized that one's a bit higher alcohol content than I expected. Oh yeah, Czech beers. Good, nice. A lot of British beers, fine. But you do just tend to get the cheap shit everywhere, right? Not a big fan of Carling. And a lot of ales I'm a big fan of. Just don't like any IPAs. IPAs. I mean, technically you can say IPAs. It'll be the same thing, technically. That's like saying AT machines instead of saying ATMs. Yeah, a lot of the IPAs are just too sour for me. I don't like it. I don't like citrusy tastes in my beers. Oh, I have had one German beer I didn't like. It was a very citrusy beer. Didn't like it. But yeah, I haven't had a good Polish beer in so long. Hang on, what did I used to get? Is Zubra beer? Oh, that's a river. Is that a beer as well? Oh, it is. Yeah. I had a lot of this. And, what's the other one? Hang on. Oh, I can't remember. Oh, Tyskie. I don't know what the correct pronunciation for that is. Oh, yeah. Hang on. Let's get me moved over. I've definitely had, if we look at this one on the left, I've had this one, I've had this one, don't think this one I had a lot of. This one I've had a lot of. Warka, I remember Warka, I've had a lot of Warka, I've had a lot of that one, and I've had that one. But I'm guessing, yeah, these are just the ones that get imported, right? But yeah, big fan. This is basically what my backpack looks like, or looked like on a Saturday, on my way to friend's place. Man, this could literally just be a shelf in any UK off license. But you probably don't pronounce Tyskie as Tyskie. I don't know how to pronounce it correctly, but I think you can get that even in like a Tesco or something. A lot of this one. I don't see the one that I bought that I later realized, oh no, that's strong. Stronger than expected. A lot of Varkas. Oh, now I want to go get some Polish beers. Some of them are just suspiciously strong. But yeah. But I think they're just a popular thing to have in all these off-license because, UK still probably has a decently sized Polish population, had loads more. About European Budweiser? Yeah, very good. Very nice, very good. Man, I think one of the bigger embarrassments for the UK in modern day is letting so much American Budweiser in and letting them sponsor UK sports teams. You can't have a national UK team that's sponsored by Bud Light. That is just such a embarrassment for a country. I can't believe they let that happen. That should have been a bigger scandal than any minister stealing how much money wherever. What does it show if I search for South African beers? If I search South African, it auto-completes beers, whiskey, flag, airways, rand to GBP. Some South African beers are good, but I wouldn't say they compete at all with a lot of European beers. But yeah, I grew up in a Castle Lager household. Castle's fine. Actually, I like Black Label a lot more. Windhoek Lager's okay. Where's the other one? Hansa's fine. A lot of Amstel. Isn't there another one that I can't think of? But yeah, I don't think these beers get exported much that I'm aware of. I don't think I've ever seen them in a shop. The only thing I've seen in a shop is this Savannah over here, which is like a cider. I can't think of any other country's beer that I specifically know. It's like, oh, it's this country. Man, I'm a big beer fan. When I didn't drink before. Pronunciation of Taiski is very peculiar. I probably heard someone say that way, and that's why I say it that way. Is it, how is it pronounced? Is it Teski? Taiski? Taiski. Is it Ki? Oh, it's probably not even Ki, it's Kie probably, right? Is it like Tiskie? Or is that even further away? I've never heard someone say it other than someone saying it wrong. Yeah, I'm probably saying it the way I'm saying it because of how one dude at work said it. But I always forget when I see a Polish word that it seems like for your vowels, it's not compounded into a new sound. Like IE in like Afrikaans or whatever, it's just an E. It's not a one sound stop, another sound. It's a continuous sound. And I always forget. So I'd always say something wrong. Like, what was dog again? Is it... Is it this? Is this dog in Polish? Right, in Afrikaans I would have said peace. In English it's pies, and Polish it's PS then, right? Right, I never remember to like break into like a second. Why do I know the word for dog? I think we used it as an example. I always forget. I forget it's not like a compound vowel. Does it work that way with all vowels in Polish? I mean, you guys have a lot of letters, so you don't need to combine. We only have of the 26. And then a couple like that kind of thing, right? I feel like that doesn't really count as an extra letter. It's just a little thingy on top. Oh, speaking of language, there's a Japanese language learning game that I want to play. You can see if that works. You have some letter combination make words look scary. I think you guys just writing a word down makes it look scary. You like the with the hat? Yeah. There's a O with the hat as well. We like the hat and we like the... What do you call the two thingies? Can't remember what it's called. But yeah, in Afrikaans it's the difference between whether it's e or a. Yeah, we use the O with the hat. Also just occasionally to just show like pronunciation. Wait, or. Oh, the SZ and CZ, and there's Zs with little things on them, dang. I'm guessing Polish just looks harder than it is. I'm guessing. Maybe it's not. But I think the more difficult things with languages is not just like, letters and spelling and things. It's the sentence construction, and then when you get to like languages where words have genders and you need to know which one to use when you talk about a table and stuff like that. I feel like that's when things get pretty out of my mind complicated. Maybe it's a hindrance for me that Afrikaans is such a nice, simple, well-designed language. Maybe it makes it more difficult to learn more complicated languages. Because English is annoying enough. Right, not knowing how to say a word even if you can see it. Or two words that spelled exactly the same but not said the same. We don't have nonsense like that. Oh, I'm scratching again. I sort of wake up these days in the morning and then I'm like, oh, there's this big scratch all across my shoulder. How do you use to have qualms? Is that like to have worries about something? Or not worried, you're doubtful about it, you're hesitant about it. I think that's the correct. I might be wrong as well. Each language has its own problems. Yeah, I feel like some of them have bigger problems than others. Oh man. I'm gonna have to stop soon. I'll give it another few minutes and I can at least have a 2-hour stream. Otherwise my voice is not gonna survive. This is literally more than I spoke in last month combined. Which is concerning, I would say. If I don't count talking, do I count talking to myself? I never used to be a talk to myself kind of person, but these days, when you're having these imaginary arguments with people, I do that out loud, quietly, but not in my head. So if the government actually did do some surveillance on me, they would think I'm a crazy person. Do like the slow easy to read, but the grammar is just too extra. Once again, Afrikaans so easy. It's so easy with such sensible grammar rules that apparently some Dutch people say it's like Dutch without any grammar, which I take offense to, right? Just because it's well designed doesn't mean it doesn't have grammar. What weirdness is there in Slovak grammar-wise? What makes it so special and complicated? And I got maybe 2 months ago, I sat at this desk complaining about how I'm starting to get sweaty and it's so hot when it hits 25 at my desk. And now I sit here and I think, wow, At least tonight it's not that hot, it's fairly cool. And it's 28. Oh, actually, no, it's 29. Went up by a degree. The conjugations. Oh. Yeah, I know what that means. I don't know if I know what that means in language context. For example, words for each MFN. I understand the zero of what you're saying, which probably just hammers the point down that is pretty complicated. Oh, ending of the word depending on if it's oh. Yeah, words having genders is too complicated for me. I can't imagine sitting there thinking, does the rain, is the rain a dude or a woman? How about that table? That just too complicated for me. Do people think you're moronically stupid if you get it wrong? Because at some point, people would get it wrong if you've never used the word in a sentence before. Oh, maybe it doesn't work that way. It's odd for me even imagining that because I've never spoken a language that works that way. Or feminine word ending in A, you have to basically go through all the cases just to figure out if you have to use an I or a Y in the basic form. See, that's way above my head. Yeah, okay, that sounds complicated. Conjugation affects all parts of sentences of best adjectives. Also need to change gender and match the thing that describe. How did that even start? Who decided when they started speaking the language that's a good idea? I wonder how something like that evolved. Like, why? I mean, I get when you refer to something like people referring to their car as, that's my girl, or their boat, right? Or buying a big truck and say, yeah, look at this big boy, giving a little slap. But I don't understand how. I think it's almost impossible, I think, to imagine if you've never been exposed to it, because I don't understand how it even works. If you're a foreigner, I won't really care if you get it wrong, but they probably do think I'm an idiot. Maybe you just need to start speaking in a strange accent. And they'll think, foreigner. I suppose it comes naturally to me and is even hard to describe. I think it's the same with any other language that you've spoken a lot, right? You say something not because you know that is correct. It's just, it sounds right. Like how in English, when you're describing things, like when you use like a whole bunch of adjectives, there's actually an order for them, but you don't think about it. People just always say it in the correct order because otherwise it sounds weird. But I can't remember a good example for that now. Like the big red boat. You don't say the red big boat. That sounds wrong. Not really important for speaking because you don't hear the I and the Y. Oh, so it's complicated and silent. Dang. Maybe I should have tried to pick a country where I didn't speak the language already. Then I could have learned another language by now. Also have proper order of adjectives, but also shifts depending on your intention. Yeah, I never even knew there was a actual order. it just sounds correct. I think it's just because everybody's doing it that way, everybody does it that way. The entire 3rd to 4th grade was spent memorizing dozens of words that have Y for no reason. I don't understand how language evolves if it's that complicated. But maybe this is just tricky for me because I also can't remember a time. Right, you don't remember a time when you didn't understand your home language, right? The kind of stuff you learned in school was just, I don't want to say fluff, but I feel not really very important. But I also don't remember not being able to speak English at all. Because so many movies and things, I remember not being able to spell English words, like at all. And then playing a game and having like a dictionary open next to me. I remember that, but I don't remember like there's an English movie and I don't understand what anybody's saying. But there's a big, massive difference between understanding when someone else is speaking a language versus you speak it yourself. Because I do remember a time when my English was way rougher than it is now. I don't know what kikiriki and kukuriku is. Oh, sorry, I missed your one message, the sound the rooster makes, so. Oh, what's the rooster sound in Afrikaans? I'm trying to. Is it just the same as in English? I'm gonna go Google Translate. I feel very embarrassed when I know what something is in English, but I don't know what it is in Afrikaans. I think it's just the same as English with cock-a-doodle-doo, except spelled differently. Probably not. You must spell your own name several times. That's rough. No I in the middle of the word decides if the letter before it is pronounced. Yeah, okay, all you're doing is convincing me never ever attempt to learn many European languages. Yeah, no thank you. That seems too complicated for me. I'm sure I could do it if I tried. I used to be good at language when I had to. But it seems complicated. Constantly going out to spell certain Polish words because we have pairs of letters that sound the same. I mean, I Google a lot of words because there's some English words I can never spell correctly. A lot of them are words with like AU in them, and I can't remember, is it AU or UA? Like words like guard, or words like guarantee. I can never spell guarantee for some reason. What's another word I can never spell that I always have to look up? I think necessary I can finally spell. Spell check in everything has definitely made me worse at spelling. Because you don't really look it up anymore, right? You type it and then either it corrects or you right click and correct. So I think if I suddenly had to write things down, pen and paper, it would be horrendously embarrassing. Like, I realize I'm having to look up Afrikaans words as well because I've forgotten how to spell them. After talking about how sensible and well-designed Afrikaans is a language, that shouldn't be possible, but apparently it's not as sensible as I've been saying. Because there are a few words where growing up I remember not knowing whether it's a V or an F, because they're both in Afrikaans. So that's one bad design there. I forgot about that. Same as English with F and PH. Often mix up whether and whether or which and which. I think at some point when you struggle with those enough, you're like, okay, now I know. You just need to know which one is which one, right? You don't have to know both, you just need to know one of them. And then the other one is just the other one. I think that's why I get so annoyed at people who can't get their yours correct in English. Or their, what's the other one? I can't remember. I know when I think, but fast typing email just makes it up sometimes. Oh, I had the most embarrassing email typo a while ago, but I can't remember what it was. I think I blocked it out because it was so embarrassing. I can't remember. But when you're so close enough that it makes sense in the sentence both ways, but one is definitely not what you want to say. So spell check doesn't pick it up, grammar check doesn't pick it up. I can't remember what it was. All I can remember, it was very embarrassing. No, I can't remember. Luckily never typed that before. I think my worst misspelling was in a test in school. It's like a science test where you had what's it in English? What do you dissolve in water, and when carbon dioxide goes through it, it changes to like a white color, becomes all cloudy. I can't remember what it is. But in Afrikaans, it's the same word as the word for chalk. But it's not chalk water. It's probably some, I don't remember. But the word for chalk in Afrikaans is kalk. And so, kalk, water. Yeah. And the word for shit in Afrikaans is kak. And I wrote in my test, clear kakwater becomes cloudy with carbon dioxide. And when the teacher handed my test back, I mean, it's not that bad, right? Now it's just funny. But when you're like, 9 years old, and the teacher is the scary dude, that's probably 10, I don't know. But the teacher is the scary dude. And he hands you your test back, and he looks at you. But then he did smile, and then I just saw him as like this big red L drawn in, like, okay. It's not. Clear shit water becomes cloudy white with carbon dioxide. Whoops. I suppose I've got all the English chemistry within 2 years. I forget every single thing that I don't use. Like things I used to be good at in the past, I don't remember anything about it because I don't use it. And in my mind, it's definitely, if you don't use it, you lose it. Unless it's mega useless information, that gets stuck there forever. But if it's actually useful, no, gone. Man, I remember nothing about chemistry in school. I just remember struggling with like organic chemistry. I struggle with all the equations and things. I don't remember why. I just found it really difficult. It just didn't click in my mind. It didn't make sense to me. Probably because maybe it isn't something at that level that you can make sense of. You have to actually just study it. Compared to then doing physics where it all just makes sense, right? You don't have to study every case. You just need to know how it works and then bam. So I did super well in physics and horribly shit in chemistry. But I mean horribly shit for me back then was like, oh, I got 78%. Oh, that's not good. I just hit the mic and started making weird buzzing sounds. Yeah, I got home one day from school. And then like that's before I knew what my marks were. I'm like, oh, my mother's not speaking to me at all. It's like, okay, intriguing. And then I think my mom didn't talk to me for like 2 weeks. And then I got my exam back from a teacher. I'm like, okay. Now I know why. Because my mom worked with the wife of that teacher. So she probably told her ahead of time that I didn't get an A for my chemistry exam. Like, oh no, it's the end of the world. Remember having fun with chem and physics, but now I remember nothing. I remember, you had all these little physics exams, right? Where should I go? That's A and that's B. And this is like N and that's like, I don't know, 50. Like, what's that? Stuff like that, right? And resistance and things. I enjoyed all of that. That was all cool. I did very well in physics. But yeah, it brought up my science because we didn't have, at that point in school, we didn't have chemistry and physics as two separate subjects. It's all science, which is a dumb name for a subject because so many of things are science, right? But that was science was the main thing, and it had two halves, physics and chemistry. Your mom would talk to you hard. We had the talking to later on then, right? Get much of middle. Oh, you guys have middle school as well. I thought middle school was just an American thing. I thought most other places just have primary school and high school. Maybe that's the odd one out. Maybe everybody else has like multiple levels of school. Once managed to get 4 Ds from one physics test. Call something else. We have like 2 levels of primary school. I mean, we technically had that 1 year before primary school. That's pre-primary. But I don't really count that as something different. And then we just had primary school up until 13. And then 14 to 18, high school. School years make so much more sense. I feel in the southern hemisphere when your school year falls in a single year, right? Or it's like February to November. It just makes everything so simple. I feel it would complicate things when your year starts in like September or whatever. It just feels weird. And your long holidays in August. I mean, I know why. It's because it's summer, right? Our summer's holidays, December. But it just so nicely splits it up if it's a different year. I feel like as soon as the date changes, I would forget everything from the previous year. For some reason, most remember organic chemistry and drawing with electrons and elements in different states or something. I don't remember anything of organic chemistry. I didn't even know it back then. Oh, it was so difficult. Such a big struggle for me. But I think that's because I always struggle with subjects that are more study things than it is understand. I always did well in the subjects where you just grab a couple exams from previous years and you just work through them to understand the kinds of questions they ask, and if you can do all of them, you can do everything. Versus subjects where you have to study these 5 facts and they ask these 5 facts. But I'm guessing there is a way with the organic chemistry to understand how it works and then just apply that. But that wasn't the way it was taught to us. For us, it was more of a, you study how this reaction works and you study how that reaction works. And you just have to remember. And I found that too difficult. That's why I was always better with like maths and things than I was in like something like history. History was like my worst subject until I got old enough to be able to just drop it. Because I have zero interest in knowing the exact date something happened. I can just go look it up. I think vaguely knowing when something happened on like a timeline, I think that's important to understand. But in the grand scheme of things, is it really important that this thing happened on the 7th of April, 1953, and not the 11th of April, or not in 1954? It's not important. It's not more interesting than just remembering all the rivers, mountains, and shit around the world. Ugh, I was also not that good at geography. But later on, I regretted dropping geography because as soon as you get to the higher levels, it stops being just memorized river names and nonsense like that, and it starts actually being a science. So that would have actually been good, but I don't think you could. Right, the school system, when I was in school, you could take some subjects, you can take it as a normal subject, or you can take it as a higher grade subject. And if you take it in a higher grade, it's not like literally a higher grade, like grade 8 versus grade 9. You're still the same school year, it's just more and more difficult and more complex. But then because you take the subject in higher grade, if you do really well, you basically get bonus points. If you do really bad, you just do bad. You don't get bonus points for that, but the way it gets marked, you just have the potential for getting a higher total average in the end. So I had to drop all my subjects that I couldn't take as higher grade. And I had to replace it with ones that I could. We had the same thing. Do you have something like mature? I don't know what that means. Yeah, so I couldn't do I enjoyed like metalwork and woodwork. More the technical drawings we did back then, but you can't take that higher grade, so I had to drop that. I took art for a couple years. I had to drop that. Big final exam at the end of high school. We just had all our normal exams. Oh, but they are... Before that, right, your exams and things are just the school exams. Right, your teachers and things put them together, but for your final year in high school, it's everybody in the country writes the same exam. So I'm guessing that's the kind of thing, right? Or everybody in the province. It's probably in the province, not in the country. And that would be devastating for some of the other provinces because the schooling system elsewhere was a little bit Classic Polish history exam is naming all the kings chronologically with their respective years spent on the throne. And I'm guessing it's not like King Charles I and then King Charles II and then King Charles III. Guessing it was more complicated than that. I feel like just spelling their names was probably difficult. Does actually only apply with the national exam for universities? Yeah, nothing else matters before your high school exam. Your marks for things, right? And then you get in university and then that shouldn't matter anymore. Yeah, I did really well at school. I mean, not well enough, but I wasn't in like top 10 of the province kind of thing, but I did fairly good. Since we did not have exam due to COVID. Oh, you're so young. Sometimes I forget. Like you being a university student for some reason, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Doesn't sound ridiculous to me. I can think that I'm communicating with a university student and then mentioning something like being in high school during COVID, and then my brain just goes, what? That was just a couple of years ago. That can't be. But I've never gotten B on Slovak. I did not do well in languages at school. I got like the factual things I get correct, but for some reason my essays and things, I was always too nervous and I want to say too scared to like really go for it. I don't want to write something I feel embarrassed. So I just always wrote things and then it's not very, I don't know what the correct word is for it. But yeah, then I just don't do super well. I always get like almost an A. It's like almost. For us back then, an A was 80 in high school. So I always used to get like 79 and 78. I did fuck up the English exam a little bit. There was like answered 2 out of the 5 questions. And then for the big essays in the end. And then I read through it and I thought, okay, I should read through the questions first before I start answering. And I read through the first one and the second one, the third one, the fourth one and the fifth one. And then when I finished reading through like the subjects and the questions or whatever, I sort of forgot that I was supposed to pick 2 and I did all 5. And I thought, man, this is a long exam. Because in like a 3-hour exam for like English or Afrikaans, I used to finish usually after like an hour and a half. Because I read quick and I write quick. But that year, it's like, shit, It's 2 hours and I'm still writing. What's going on? Okay, I'm done, but now I have to still sit here for an hour and wait. Why did it take so long? Shit, did I fuck up? Oh no, for those final exams we were allowed to leave after you were done. Different than the in-school exams usually, where there's nowhere you can go, right? It's just a normal class. You just have to sit there with your head in your arms and just wait for an extra 2 hours until the exam's done. But I remember, it's like, okay, I'm done, and other people have left already, so I'm like, oh shit. Why was I so slow today? And I left and met up with some people I knew outside, and they were like, oh, which questions did you do? And like, oh, what do you mean? It's like, did you do this one? Yeah, I did that one. It's like, oh, I did that one too. And I'm like, okay. And someone else said, no, I did that one. I'm like, yeah, I did that one too. It's like, oh, cool. And then someone else, oh, I did that one. I'm like, yeah, I did that one too. And then I realized, oh, fuck. Whoops. But I did okay. Never got better than B because I missed all the commas and grammar. I think my writing was just never good. And the stories I wrote was never creative enough because, I don't know. I didn't really want to, get too into it. When you graduate high school, you also have 2 versions of the exam you can decide to take, like basic one and the hard one. Yeah, we have that for an entire subject. For some subjects, yeah. Like I said earlier, you can pick standard grade or higher grade. But you don't pick that at the point when the exam happens. You pick that at the point where you choose subjects. So they were probably when you were 16 years old, you probably picked it. And I think you can drop down at any point, but I don't think you can go up. Right, I think if you're in your final year and you decide, you know what, fuck this shit, I'm going to go down to standard grade, I think you can do that, but you can't do it the other way around. Oh, I forgot all about these high school things. And yeah, for that final exam, when all the marks come out, it's actually in the newspaper. And you look it up over there the day it comes out. Man, I forgot about that. How does that even work? Or is that only for people who did really well? Maybe that's only for people who did really well, like all the A's people got. Do you have national tests for primary middle? No. Up until final year school, it's all just internal in the school. So, because it doesn't really. I mean, I could think that something that could matter for, getting into a specific high school. But I don't think they were. I mean, you can't really give too much of a shit of a 13-year-old writing an exam, right? We just had normal. I mean, you had your big exams at the end of the year. They were just not the exact same exam someone at a different school would write. Test always nationwide, damn. And I wonder maybe. No, I don't think it was. I don't think it was the same. I think it's only for the final year. I think it's only for the exam you write when you're 18. Grade 12. I think the primary school one was just sort of basic. But then I wonder, how do high schools then compare people if they decide who gets approved? Okay, but maybe that's, I just don't know because I didn't go to a very prestigious high school. I went to there were 2 high schools sort of in the area I grew up in, and I was not in the posher one. I I was not in the one the richer kids go to. Except I did my computer studies classes was there, because we didn't have a computer room, and that didn't even feel weird back then. It's like, wow, this school's so fancy it has computers. We actually had a room with typewriters, where if people took typing, it was actually typewriter typing. Where that sounds like ridiculously way in the past now, if you think about it. Pay for high school? I think so. I think so, but not a lot. Because you're legally forced to go. So I don't think it was much. Wondering if primary school was free, but things change a lot around that time, because there were some fairly big changes in South Africa at that point. So I can't remember. But there are definitely very fancy private schools that cost loads of money. Next room to typewrite, they were scratching into clay plates. Ha 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 ha. But it's crazy even back then, right? People taking typing classes on typewriters, even though at that point businesses and things weren't using typewriters. I wonder what the education system was thinking back then. Huh, I wonder what the point was. But yeah, typing was one of those classes. Technically anybody can take it, but I'm not aware of any boys taking typing. It was like the, what do you call the home stuff, like cooking and things that you could also take at school, which also used to be only the girls. Where technically woodwork and metalwork, anybody can take it, but I think at the point, at my age group, it was just boys. Or I think if one of the girls wanted to, they could, but I think at that point, people really slot into their gender roles. I think I'm gonna go now before my voice explodes. Ow, my eye. Oh no. I blinked and my eyelid went weird. I got rid of all the other painful parts of my body, but the face still exists now. It's got getting rid of. I mean, I could go this. But no. But okay. I'm gonna go now. I thought I did want to play a game, but I think it's probably better if I keep this short today. Already a bit longer than I was planning, and I can feel my voice disappearing into the void. So I think I'm gonna go rest it, and then we'll see if I'm back tomorrow, or if this was too big of a shock to my body and my existence that I'm disappearing for another month. But I don't think so. Yeah, I need to end stream so I can open up all my web pages and refresh them to see if I can get a aircon. But I'm wondering now, they've really reduced the weather forecasts. Right, over the next 2 weeks, the hottest is 31. So I think maybe I'll just leave it and then regret it when we suddenly have crazy, crazy hot. I think you guys got all the crazy hot weather again. Man, hearing about who had it the hottest? I know like France had some 41s and things, but I think you guys had as well. I think I'd die. I don't think I'd survive that. And go learn about axolotl amputations. That seems 10% interesting, 90% mega creepy. At 37 to 39 from Thursday today. Man, I probably shouldn't even then complain on stream. It's always harsh punishment for Yugoslavia. But then I feel like the UK should get some punishment then as well. Or maybe the UK has just never done anything wrong in the history of its existence, yeah. They just always minded their own business and never poked at anybody else. No, I feel the UK is getting punished enough by the UK. Maybe the UK is just punishing itself so it's not getting any external punishment. The axolotls regrow their amputations. That doesn't make it any creepier. But okay, thank you so much. I'll be back. I'm going to try tomorrow when we can play a game. Maybe. I'm not actually winking right now. I don't know why it's doing that. Probably because I haven't dialed in the eye open, eye closed. Okay, enough of that. I'm going to hurt my neck. Cheerio. Have a good night. Don't die of the heat. Be well. Thanks for being here. I was a teensy bit worried when I clicked start stream and then there's no one. But luckily, I was wrong, so I'm very happy. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Farewell. Bye-bye. Bye-bye-bye. I muted before the final bye-bye. Bye-bye.